Welcome back to Fort Mort. I've got the legend Vancele grow. Oh, this guy over here growing like a weed. He is. We're both of our channels are growing. He cracked 1,000, and we are this close, guys. We just passed 969. We are growing. We are getting to 31. So I appreciate all of you guys. It's telling me that you guys really want to see these modding videos. I've got a legend, the bounty hunter man, right here. We're gonna get into this right now. Let's go. I, of course, will tag the information to his YouTube and to his Twitch as well. And you guys know that I am Mort. But today we're going to talk about another amazing bounty hunter. But this may be, Vancele, the most versatile bounty hunter of them all.
One of the most versatile characters, in my opinion. This guy's got tags up the wazoo, so...
I believe it. So we're going to be adding the visuals after the video, guys, because after I goofed up that last one, I'm going to make sure I got the right ones in there. So, be patient with me. We're getting there. But let's go ahead and start off with Jango. I'm going to go through what we normally do. Do his kit. Deal physical damage on the basic. And remember, whenever people assist, it's always the basic. Deal damage to target enemy and gain 50% offense for each enemy suffering a debuff during this attack. If the target enemy was suffering a debuff, Jango will attack again, which is one of my favorite abilities on here. The double tap with a guy that's already offensive is awesome. What do you think about this?
Yeah, no, anytime you have a guaranteed double tap mechanic, it's always good, especially for the contract. That means if you're going for a boss lead, Jango lead contract where you have to do damage, this you can always count on hitting twice. This attack hits extremely hard. Like I said, the 15% offense for each enemy suffering a debuff really kind of, I think, is overlooked quite a bit. But the fact that this hits twice can sometimes actually just one-shot people, depending on the character.
And this is an Omega too, so to me this is a well-worthy Omega because you're getting double damage. This is a no doubt Omega, no doubt.
Yep.
Shrapnel. This is another great ability from this, especially when he's in the relic levels. Deal physical damage to target enemy and to a random enemy. Inflict healing immunity. This is a huge buff and debuff. And stagger, which is another one that a lot of people don't even understand, to target enemy for 2 turns. Stagger, if you guys hit a character with stagger, the next time he's damaged, he loses all his turn meter. This is such a great ability.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's definitely it's one of those abilities like you never want to see it coming your way. The other cool thing about this ability is when it does physical damage to a target and then to a random enemy, that random enemy could also, by RNG, be the target. So you could also hit that same target twice, and it really just kind of just nukes them. Healing immunity is great. So it's like if you don't kill them, they're not going to be healing. And then stagger, again, like you said, stagger is just a solid mechanic. Like it's like if you don't kill them with the one shot on this missile, you should be able to finish them off.
As I'm reading this too, I didn't even realize it was for 2 turns. Most characters is only for 1 turn, I think. So you can actually go around that character, come back to him, and remove that turn meter if you know where he's at in his cooldowns, which is a really cool
and he'll
thing
double
too.
tap with that basic because they're going to be debuffed.
Yeah, that is amazing. This guy is ridiculous. I've seen one shots with this thing. That hit is so good. Another great ability, inflicting burning for 3 turns and deal physical damage to all enemies. This attack cannot be evaded. Conflagration on target character, lose 25% max health stacking if they were suffering a debuff on target raid boss or galactic legend, lose 10% tenacity stacking if they were suffering a debuff. So how about this one? Because I've never really dug into this ability. Maybe you can explain it a little bit better.
Okay, so it doesn't say on this kit, I don't think it actually says anywhere in the game, but a quick reminder is burning is kind of like damage over time, but it's better because targets that are burning also they lose evasion. So if there's a target that is burning, they're much easier to hit. They're probably not going to dodge. And if they do dodge, I mean, that's just bad RNG, I guess. But inflict burning for 3 turns. This ability is also on a 3-turn cooldown. So you kind of see how that cycles really, really well.
Yeah, really fast.
Can't evade. So if you have going up against a team that has, full of foresight, you're still going to burn them. This ability is really good because as we go into Jango's lead, you'll see you want debuffed characters. This also plays really well in his basic, where you get extra offense for every debuffed character. If you go up against a debuffed character, they lose 25% of their max health stacking. So what that looks like is they don't take damage, but it's kind of like a shortcut into killing them. So if you go up against someone, let's just say, has 100,000 max health, their max health now becomes 75,000, and you can keep doing that over and over and over and over to the point where they're just like a big fat green barb. And I mean, at that point, you're going to be killing them. So and against a raid boss, they're just going to lose tenacity. But raids are kind of kind of done at this point, so we don't really go that much into that.
To be totally transparent, I did not know about the evasion, so I just learned something here right now. I had no idea. And then, so what you're talking about from the stacking standpoint, if he goes from 100 to 75, the next time you use this ability, he's going to drop another 25%, so he's going to go down to like
no.
57K.
So the way max health works, it's off the current total. So it'll be 25% of 100,000, which will drop him down to 75,000, and then the next time it'll be 25% of 75,000.
Right, that's what I was saying. So it drops like 18,000 from that standpoint.
Yeah,
so,
at that point,
okay,
yeah.
Okay, so it goes down to 57, and then another 25% goes down
Correct.
to... Yeah, okay. All right, awesome. Great explanation. Thank you. Leadership. This is a Zeta. We will do it without the Zeta first. Read it off. Scoundrel allies have plus 30 speed, and all enemies have minus 40% tenacity. Enemies that are not suffering from burning cannot gain... that are suffering from burning cannot gain bonus turn meter. When Jango is in the leader slot, not the ally slot, the following contract is active. Damage a debuffed enemy 20 times. That's what you were talking about. Enemies must be debuffed before the start of an attack to count progress. Only bounty hunters can get that contract. Reward. All bounty hunters gain bounty hunters resolve at the start of the next turn, and plus 25% critical chance. All bounty hunters have their payouts activated. If you add the Zeta, you get enemies have minus 20% potency for each debuff on all bounty hunters. Bounty hunters also have plus 35% offense while they have bounty hunters resolve, which is amazing with a couple of abilities that double tap.
Absolutely. So the cool thing here is scoundrels. So, towards the higher end of GAC, you're going to see a lot of people running a Jango lead with like a Quill or an IG-11 or a Nest or someone like that, or even BAM, just to get that extra 30 speed on them to just outspeed you. The minus 20% potency on the Zeta for every debuffed is actually really overlooked, I think, a lot of times. If you go up against a team, like, let's say, like, there's an EP Vader, and Vader throws his dots everywhere, EP's not going to be stunning you, because you have so much dots on your team, or debuffs, not dots. You have so many debuffs on your team, your opponent's going to have, like, 0% potency. I don't think you can get negative potency, but they're going to have 0% potency. And then on top of that, they're also going to have minus 40% tenacity of that. So it's going to be a lot easier to land, these debuffs from Jango.
That's why a lot of people use it against the Empire team.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. And then while he is in the leader position, enemies that are burning can't gain bonus turn meter. So it's not like daze, but it's kind of like a pseudo daze, so to speak. And then the contract where the reward is, you get 35% offense for when you have bounty hunters resolve, which is the nice thing about Jango, Boba, and Mando, and Dad Bod Boba now. They all start with bounty hunters resolve. So they're already going to be reaping the benefits of that extra offense right from the get-go.
This is this is good information. I love it. The Palpatine one, they're a turn meter train. They're known for it. We did modding video on them already.
Yeah.
And slowing them down is such a trick. You put it in a Bosk lead, they typically wreck. The Palpatine will wreck that team, but you switch it around to Jango, and it becomes a much easier money.
Yeah, they're not going to land their debuffs as much, and they're not going to be getting turn meter for their burning.
Yep. All right, the next one. This is also the Zeta, if I am correct. Jango Fett has 100% defense penetration and 50% max health. Enemies defeated on this turn cannot be revived. This is one of my favorites from the Bounty Hunters. I love these abilities. At the start of encounter, that's off his basic too, right? That's his basic.
Yeah, as long as it's his turn.
It's not like Boba's one big shot. This is as long as he makes the kill, doesn't matter what ability. It could be burning and they can't come back. At the start of the encounter, whenever he defeats an enemy, Jango Fett recovers 100% protection and gains Bounty Hunter's resolve until he is defeated. This unit ignores taunts during their turn. When defeated, revive at 100% health. Can't be dispelled or prevented. His Zeta does add enemies defeated on his turn cannot be revived. Go on with it.
Yeah, so I mean, the 100% defense pen is a little silly in my opinion. I think it's a lot. Extra health, always welcomed on these type of characters. But yeah, same as Boba, same Bounty Hunter's resolve, same rules. But enemies can't be defeated on his turn. So yeah, he can use his basic, and he can use his special, he can use his AoE. If he's killing somebody in his turn, they're not coming back.
Yeah,
no matter what. They're completely gone no matter what.
Yep. That's an amazing ability, and a great. That is to me the first Zeta. As you can see, I don't have the leadership yet, but I definitely have that one. You cannot skip that one whatsoever. Is Jango's payout. He's got whenever Jango Fett receives rewards from a contract or when the leader is another separatist ally, he also gains the following payout. Jango Fett gains damage immunity for 2 turns, which can't be dispelled or prevented, and plus 50% offense.
Yeah, so this is just really good under Separatist leads. Unfortunately, you can't get it with Mandalorians, but with the Separatist lead, I mean, you just get this immediately. Damage, you guys know what we're talking about, the whole Newt, Jango, and then, company. But damage immunity for 2 turns can't be dispelled or prevented. This guy, the only thing that will kill a character with damage immunity, though, is Disintegrate, Annihilate, and I believe Sith Eternal's AoE if Jango is linked. So anything with like defeated effects will kill a character with damage immunity. But
I am so glad you pointed that out.
we're getting extra offense again, so this guy's gonna be hitting hard no matter what you do.
Yeah, he's amazing. I've got mine at Relic 7 right now, I believe, for a GL, he is absolutely redunculous. So to go into his mastery, which is another one too, we've talked about mastery, when you go into Relic, you gain bonuses on your mastery, and his is crit chance, critical damage, and damage. And he hits really, really, really freaking hard. But back to that damage immunity, I want to point out how many times I've seen people, and I think we've all fallen for it at least once, when Jango is in damage immunity, or when when we do CLS versus Nest and they're removing all our turn meter and it's a timeout. Jango is one of those guys where you can get caught in a loop when he's in damage immunity. You keep pulling his turn meter away. Just because you can't damage him, you can still debuff him, you can remove his turn meter, and you'll just sit there for 5 minutes removing his turn meter, and you don't know what's going on. It's because he holds that damage immunity for 2 turns, and that can last 5 minutes. It's dirty.
Yeah, especially with the CLS lead, especially if you have a slow Jango and you're doing it on purpose.
Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
A lot of people put that on their teams just to do that, specifically under a Newt lead as well. So, all right, so let's go into this and kind of look at the stats here of the mods.
Sure.
So you guys can see that I've got crit damage and crit chance mods, and if I actually pull up this visual real quick from SWGOH.gg, majority of the population of the top 100 guilds have got him. I believe it's 37% have got this exact same thing. Some of them recommend health with that crit damage. Some are offense with crit chance. So there are many ways you can do this. I actually have on my sheet for the younger crew to have speed and health, because you want him moving, but we can get into that as well. What is your ultimate recommendation for the main mods, Vancele, especially at the relic levels?
So definitely, I think because he's needed for JMK, which I think JMK is a great galactic legend. I would say it's safe to say to take this guy to 7, no matter what. You're not going to have any regrets or buyer's remorse. If you're not going for JMK, get him at least a 5. Get him at least a 5. He'll do some great numbers there. So the way I have him modded is I have him modded with a crit damage and a health set. And the reason I run a health set, not a crit chance set, is because going back to the mastery, when you get a character to Relic 7 and you have crit chance in that mastery, you tend to get a lot of stats out of it.
Yep.
And then you start to realize, I actually don't need this crit chance set anymore.
I
So
have 110
I just went
now. I'm looking at it.
I went ahead and just made him a little tankier by getting rid of my crit chance set, which I think only gives you, let me double check, I believe it's only 8%. Yeah, it's 8%. So mine's at 100% crit chance exactly, and then I gave him some more health to give him make him a little tankier. But if you don't have crit damage, offense set works just fine as well. But like I said, once you get to those high relics, I would definitely consider removing a crit chance set if you have one.
I'm looking at it now, and I got 229% crit damage and 110% crit chance. So I don't think I need, I don't think I need that much. I need to back this off. So I think I'm gonna have to change up and put some health mods on here as well. So writing it down right now, brother. Good recommendation.
Yeah. Other options if you don't have health, potency. Potency's not a bad idea with his debuffs. Some people like to run a potency cross on him instead of offense or protection. I think that works just fine as well. I like offense personally. I just like to, just like to kill things, I guess. But potency is not a bad idea on this guy with the amount of debuffs he puts out.
I've got 93% on him, but because potency will add 15%, and I've currently got a 24% potency mod on, I might switch out that potency and put offense instead on a health mod, and my potency and health will both be my health will go up, my potency will go down slightly. So I like what you're saying here. I see what's going on here. All right, for me, circle typically, start out with the square. On the square, obviously you've got to deal with offense. We're not going to go there. We're going to go to circle. I put protection on him because with the versatility of the characters, I tend to, at my level, still use him mainly because I don't have his leadership zated. I use him under Bosk. So I like that extra protection because Boss lead gives protection under his lead, extra protection. So I stacked that protection on. Of course, I got a speed mod on the arrow. I've got crit damage on this mod as well. And to be honest with you, I need more stuff because I need to put gold mods on him. This guy hits so hard already, but man, he would be ridiculous. I just don't have the mats. And then currently I have potency on my guy with 93%, but like I was talking about, I'll probably change it up and put offense on a health mod in order to do that. For side stats, I like speed, potency, and then either health or protection, and then of course crit chance. So what do you recommend from that standpoint?
I think I have health on my circle. That's just because the mod that I have I like. But I think protection is the better way to go, just because when he kills somebody, he recovers 100% protection.
Ah, that's right. Yeah.
So it just makes more sense to have that protection there as well. But yeah, no, crit damage on the triangle is good. I have offense on my cross. Everything else seems to be pretty close to what I have. Now in terms of speed, I have mine at 290, 298. I usually like to keep around the 290. I typically don't like to go more than 300 on him. I think it's a little bit. I think if you're going more than 300 without a speed set, I think you need to dial back on speed and take a look at your offense and your health and protection numbers to see if you're kind of overshooting those. But I would say a solid speed for Jango Fett would be anywhere around the 270, 290 range. I think that's kind of where you want him. I think a little bit, if you want him really slow to try and time out a CLS team, you got to go really, really slow. But you have to understand it's a very niche counter, niche mechanic. I think definitely around the 280s is probably the sweet spot, though.
Okay, well, I'll put 280 on that visual for me. Mine's running 252 right now, and I would like to get him a little faster, so I agree with you on that standpoint. Speed is king in this game.
Yes.
Let's see where else. What about potency? You already talked about. Tenacity isn't really a big thing there. Damage. So what about that cross? You think if I remove that cross and put potency, offense is going to be better off here?
Yes. At Relic 7, yeah, absolutely. If you have a gold cross on there with 8.5% offense, absolutely.
So for the younger crew who hasn't quite reached the Relic, I like the potency because of the debuffs. So if you are pre-Relic, this is kind of the way my guy's set up, and I haven't taken the time yet to remod him. As you guys are seeing, I like to do these videos with my natural mods without trying to reset them and see where my mistakes are, because I want to mod together. And because I've got him at Relic now, I really need to reinvest in him with mods. So 100%. And what about, you said Relic priority 1 to 10?
Relic priority 1 to 10. Honestly, guys, I would say I would put him around an 8 or a 9. Just because if you're not planning to go after JMK, if you're not planning to use bounty hunters, you can use them with scoundrels, Mandalorians. He is probably really, really good under separatists at early game, because the thing is, you put a separatist in the lead, he gets his payout, or he gets damage immunity, and it doesn't matter what separatist it is. The separatist doesn't even have to be a leader. You can put Watt in the lead, and it still works as long as you have another separatist in the lead. He is an absolute threat. So I would say definitely 8 or 9 in terms of priority.
Well, the reason I don't give him a 10 is because he doesn't have a darn ship. Man, if he had a ship, but if he
had a ship, he would. Yeah, that'd be pretty incredible if he had a ship. Honestly,
he would be absolutely amazing.
This guy would do all of it, because he's honestly almost like a one-man band, so to speak.
He's like a Thrawn with damage. You know, he can go just about anywhere, and I mean, he can solo. Honestly, there's many times he can solo, so he's an amazing character. But I believe we touched everything. What do you think, Vancele? You got anything else you want to add?
Nope. I mean, we pretty much covered it all, I think.
I appreciate you, man. All his information will be downstairs. He's growing up to I think he's around 1,800 right now, guys. Help this man grow, get him up there. And don't forget, Morty's trying to get there too, if I can get my visual. Hey, it's pointing at you. Wait a minute. Point at him. Okay, we're subbing to him. That's fine. And that guy. That's fine. In the meantime, guys, I appreciate you. We know we are 1 battalion strong. Vancele, thank you, brother. Till next time.
Man.
Shut up and sit down.